course, we as Uganda, I guess, shall be following up on all the incidents. We shall all be getting more of the ideas. So, and I still think and I still believe there is always a reason as to why we continue as to why we continue transforming our sectors. But the more we transform them, we need to build strong bonds with our neighboring countries. And this is going to boost economic activity, not only in these countries, but also in our own country, in our own motherland. Because once we are creating an atmosphere that allows the two countries to come together and work as a whole, it is at the end of the day going to help the both of us in reconstructing all the incidents in the country, and it's going to be helping us to understand what is happening from our world and what is happening from anywhere you would definitely be going. And I believe it is a good move for all Ugandans, and it's going to be helping us out at the end of the day. So I guess every Ugandan, these are some of the opportunities that the government lays on board to see that once trade is actually boosted, it is giving us ready market for anyone here who is a local producer out there. If you're to look on the 25th of October 2021, the cabinet ministers chaired by President Yoweri Museveni at State House in Entebbe approved the joint construction of infrastructure between Uganda and Democratic Republic of Congo. And if you look at back in August, Uganda was actually at the border of Uganda the president was at the border of Uganda and the DR Congo, where he met with the president of DR Congo to actually also clear the border for business to prevail. Bariyomunsi notes that the roads will stretch till the eastern part of Congo to ensure maximum trade exploitation of the region, since it's underdeveloped yet endowed with business opportunities benefiting not only the DRC but also the western part of Uganda. Bariyomunsi further says that the agreement will strengthen the bilateral relations between the two countries, that is Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Away from that, let's move on to the next stories. Zambia has agreed to import Uganda's milk as Kenyan authorities continue to block Uganda's milk and dairy products, citing poor quality. This prompted the government of Uganda to begin searching for a possible market outside the East African community. And the Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industries and Fisheries, Frank Tumwebaze, recently flagged off the first consignment of 50 tons of powdered milk destined for Zambia. Let's have more of this story. The Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Frank Tumwebaze, at the weekend flagged off the first consignment of 50 tons of powdered milk destined for Zambia. Dairy farmers countrywide have a reason to smile after the government found an alternative market for their milk in Zambia. Since December 27, 2019, Kenyan authorities have blocked Uganda's milk and dairy products, citing poor quality, claims Kampala refutes.
Opening up that new market opportunity, the trickle-down effect is to the farmer, and it contributes more and more development to our milk value chain.
As a result, the government of Uganda has been searching for a possible market outside the East African community. The Zambian Coca-Cola Beverages Limited has made an order of 700 metric tons of powdered milk each year from Pearl Dairies Uganda. Mwebaze congratulated Pearl Dairies Company for taking an initiative to invest in a state-of-the-art processing plant with the capacity to process 800,000 liters of milk every day, and this will go a long way in supporting our farmers.
Congratulate them. I thank them. I have inspected their factory. It is state-of-the-art. They are using the highest technology from Germany, Tetra Pak. They have different lines of production. They produce powdered milk. They produce yogurt. They produce UHT.
Tumwebaze has urged countries that doubt Uganda's capacity to produce quality products to come and investigate the matter by themselves. The minister further explained that after finding market for milk, they are turning to beans and maize, urging farmers to address issues about quality. About 3,000 bags of powdered milk and packets of Lato milk were on December 27, 2019, confiscated by Kenyan authorities, claiming that the milk had been smuggled in the country without taxation. Later on, Kenya blocked Uganda's milk and dairy products, particularly Lato milk, and claims that Ugandan companies are exporting counterfeit and substandard products.
When you hear people saying our Irish potatoes are not being bought by the processors, there must be a reason.
Kenya blocked Uganda's milk and dairy products, particularly that of the powdered situation, on claims that that is particularly Lato milk, and claims that Ugandan companies are exporting counterfeit and substandard goods. If you look at about 3,000 bags of powdered milk and packets were on December 27, 2019, confiscated by Kenyan authorities, claiming that the milk had been smuggled into the country without taxation. To members of such countries that doubt Uganda's capacity to produce quality products to come and investigate the matter themselves. So I think if you look at the situation, we still have talks between Uganda and Kenya. The dialogue does continue in November, where the two countries are coming together to talk more about business and talk about trade on continuous economic activity. How are we going to continue trading with one another, and how is it going to avail itself? How are we going to use this opportunity as a country? And I would still suggest that we as Uganda and the Ugandans out there should use all these opportunities to create and make sure that if we are engaging in any activity, whether it's agriculture or whether we are dealing in the production process, let's try so much to provide or to come up with standard quality goods, because at the end of the day, it is not only tarnishing the name of the country, but it's tarnishing our name as producers, because our aim is to see that we reach out to the available markets, and every time we reach out to the available markets, it means that everyone who is engaging in a different various economic activity can pick something, one or two, from the situation, which is actually worrying if our products are being returned to the country because they're substandard. But of course, this is actually a time of, this actually gives a reason for dairy farmers to smile after the government alternative market for their milk is now Zambia, having turned to Zambia. Most of the dairy products having Kenya denied room for that. That is why these trade talks are continuously going on to see that Kenya accepts our products. But at the time, let us first use Zambia, use other channels. By the time, Kenya will test and see that if other countries are giving room for our products into their markets, then what are they waiting for? Because if you look at our partner states here, Tanzania, Kenya, those are some of the countries we've been trading with the most since independence. And even before independence, they are the neighboring countries. Why not? We've always been doing all this and more of that. And to all the farmers out there, there is an alternative now to those companies dealing in dairy products, powdered milk, most of the dairy products. I want to put that in a holistic, in a general format. That it's high time we use the market in Zambia now, that it's already there, and at the end of the day, it is going to be of help to us in the outcome or in the later due course of the time. Okay, away from that, still with the local news stories, let's head on to the next one. Tanzania and Uganda Oil and Gas Symposium is set for November in Dar es Salaam. The symposium will provide a platform for the private sector to network, understand industry opportunities and challenges, showcase their capacities through experience sharing. Let's have a look at the details.
According to officials, Private Sector Foundation Uganda, together with Tanzania Private Sector Foundation, in partnership with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, through its Uganda High Commission in Tanzania, will convene a Tanzania-Uganda Oil and Gas Symposium on November 25th in Dar es Salaam. The theme of the symposium is enhancing private sector participation in the oil and gas sector. Tanzania and Uganda enjoy a long-standing, deep, historical, diplomatic and economic relationship that has been strengthened by recent developments in the oil and gas industry, especially the East African Crude Oil Pipeline Project. It is estimated that during just the construction phase of East African Crude Oil Pipeline Project, Uganda and Tanzania will see an increase of over 60% in foreign direct investment. The investment in the oil and gas projects shall total up to $20 billion within the East African Crude Oil Pipeline Project. Investment alone over $3.5 billion. The symposium will provide a platform for the private sector to network, understand industry opportunities and challenges, showcase their capacities through experience sharing, identify key strategies that can enable partnerships and joint ventures between Uganda and Tanzania, private sector, and interact with public sector actors on legal and policy matters govern the industry of Uganda and Tanzania. Eli Karuhanga, chairman PSFU, said that the East African Crude Oil Pipeline Project, which runs from Lake Albert to the Tanzanian port of Tanga, will create over 5,000 jobs and could create a further indirect 20,000 jobs for our people. Therefore, communication is vital to bring local companies up to speed with what is required of them to participate in the sector. The Ugandan High Commissioner to Tanzania, Ambassador Richard Kabonero, said that the symposium will promote cooperation between the two countries to facilitate business within the oil and gas sector.
Opportunities coming through after the East African Crude Oil Pipeline are going to be quite many. For not only the Ugandans, meanwhile, but also those in Tanzania living around the areas where these pipelines are going to be passing. Look at cities like Goma, but up to Tanga Port, where Uganda is going to use that route. That is the same reason as to why President Samia Suluhu Hassan was in the country a few months back, and to see that they clear off this room. The Ugandan High Commission to Tanzania, Ambassador Richard Kabonero, said that this symposium will promote cooperation between the two countries and facilitate business within the oil and gas sector. Meanwhile, Eli Karuhanga, the chairman PSFU, said that the East African crude oil pipeline project, which runs from Lake Albert to the Tanzanian port of Tanga, will create over 5,000 jobs and could create a further 20,000 jobs for the people in Uganda and those in Tanzania. So you can see this symposium is slated to provide a platform for the private sector network of Tanzania and Uganda to sit down and see what effect does this oil and gas sector have on the economy of both countries, and of what impact will it have for the people of both Uganda and Tanzania. Okay, let's head to the international scene. The Equity Group is said to spend 500 billion on Kenya and South Africa businesses in a move to expand its business beyond 7 countries where it operates. The bank is seeking to trade or invest in Africa. More of the details.
Equity Group has set aside 500 billion to finance Kenyan and South African firms seeking to trade or invest in Africa in a move to expand its business beyond 7 countries where it operates. The bank will offer credit to companies that want to set up manufacturing, construction and health and investment firms, facilitate value addition through processing and packaging, and finance export to import business. The lender will be tapping into about 500 billion shillings funds, out of which close to 100 billion shillings will be from development institutions such as the African Development Bank, and the rest from customers' deposits. The bank is eyeing the South African firms also to establish its presence in the market without setting up physical branches and raising competition for the other commercial banks such as Absa Bank and Standard Bank. The bank is spearheading a 4-day business networking meeting to spark interest for investment and joint ventures between firms in regions. The bank has put into disposal of private sector and business community about 500 billion to facilitate trade. It will be funding Kenyan importers or South African firms that want to import into the regions it operates in, all those that want to do partnership in the region. The bank is inviting them as new investors in the regions.
The bank is spearheading a 4-day business networking meeting to spark interest for investment, joint ventures between firms in the regions. The bank has put in a disposal of private sector and business communities about 500 billion Ugandan shillings to facilitate further in trade. It will be funding Kenyan importers or South African firms that want to export into regions that it operates in all those that want to do partnership in the region. The bank is inviting them as new investors in these regions. If you're to look at the situation, the lender will be tapping into about 500 billion Kenyan shilling funds, out of which close to 100 billion Kenyan shillings will be from development institutions such as the African Development Bank, and the rest from customer deposits. And moving on, and lastly from our news hour, this particular moment, the US government bans China Telecom from operating in the country. The Chinese state-owned telecommunication firm has been banned from operating in the United States over national security. More of the details.
Washington is barring a major Chinese state-owned telecommunications firm from operating in the United States over national security concerns, an action that threatens to once again increase tensions between the world's 2 largest economies. The U.S. Federal Communications Commission on Tuesday said it has ordered China Telecom to discontinue U.S. services within 60 days, citing findings that the company's American subsidiary is subject to exploitation, influence and control by the Chinese government. The company is also highly likely to be forced to comply with Chinese government requests without sufficient legal procedures, subject to independent judicial oversight. The company's main business is in China, was roughly 370 million mobile customers. China Telecom does not break out its customers by region. Its American subsidiary was incorporated in 2002 And the firm says it provides services to businesses and carriers between Americas and China. This isn't the first time China Telecom has been targeted with punitive actions by the United States. In January, the New York Exchange said it would delist 3 Chinese telecom stocks, including China Telecom, to comply with the executive order signed by the president then, Donald Trump. The order banned the Americas from investing in firms that the U.S. government suspects are either owned or controlled by the Chinese military. China Telecom has since ceased trading in the United States. Shares listed on Hong Kong slumped 0.7% on Wednesday.
Has actually threatened to increase tension between the two world-leading economies, as the U.S. Federal Communications Commission on Tuesday said it had ordered China Telecom to discontinue U.S. services within 60 days, citing findings that the company's American subsidiary is subject to exploitation, influence and control by the Chinese government. The company is also highly likely to be forced to comply with Chinese government requests without sufficient legal procedures subject to independent judicial oversight. The company's main business is in China, which has roughly 370 million mobile customers. China Telecom does not break out its customers by region. Its American subsidiary was incorporated in 2002, and the firm says it provides services to businesses and carriers between America and those of China. And it's actually, Washington is bearing a major Chinese state-owned telecommunication firm from operating in the United States over national security concerns, as you've actually seen from this story. From that view and from that angle, I would say I'll be back after the break. But when I return, I have Forex updates, commodity prices, and business tips. This is Smart Means Business.